podcast, TruthSeekah's podcast. Buckle up, everyone. We're going to talk aliens, UFOs, ghosts, spiritual and paranormal, from all of the three moons, beyond your wildest dreams. Nice.
TruthSeekah and or its affiliates are not responsible for any strange phenomena that may occur during or after listening to this podcast, which may include the following: heightened senses of awareness, psychic abilities, UFO sightings, alien contact, time loss, out-of-body experiences, ringing in the ears, ESP, lucid dreaming, increased synchronicities, astral projection, telepathy, stronger intuition, levitation, miraculous healings, and or remote viewing. Please be advised to listen at your own discretion.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? To a place to walk on troubled seas, faith to stand when I don't believe. I just wanna be with you. Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
You are now locked into the TruthSeekah Podcast.
Gargoyles! Psychics! Everything's ungodly! Dark Savage!
Streaming live at TruthSeekah.com.
She's not a Christian!
Give it up, y'all.
Your portal to the paranormal, esoteric, and all things spiritual.
She's tampering in Dark Savage stuff!
And now, your host, TruthSeekah.
Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm your host, TruthSeekah. This is the TruthSeekah Podcast. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? Excited, delighted to be with you guys again. Man, excited for this interview. It's going to be good. Trust me. 432, music, spirits, spirituality. We're going to cover it all. The Ascension process. It's going to be good. Trust me. Stick around. Shout out to everybody listening on the podcasting apps, no matter where you are listening to this. Shout out to the people listening on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, D-Live, all the other places, Twitch, all those places where people are hanging out with us, man. Shout out to you guys for being a part of the community, hanging out. And special thank you to everybody who makes this show a possibility. That is all the Patreon supporters, everybody who is partnered with my work via Patreon. I want to give a shout out to some of the latest patrons within the last week or two. Shout out to, let's see here, Gavin McDonald. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for jumping on. Janet Samuel. Shout out to you. Philosopher. Philosopher. I see what you did there. Shout out, man. Thanks for coming on. And Pamela Spears. Thank you guys for believing in the work and partnering with me. You guys are the enablers. The show doesn't exist without your help. So thank you guys for backing it, getting behind it financially, and believing in the work. If you'd like to support, head on over to patreon.com/TruthSeekah. There you get access to my entire discography of music, which is 200 plus songs. You get access to our Thursday night School of the Mystics, which is the community aspect to what we're building here. If you're looking for like-minded people to roll some ideas off of and those kind of things, and you get direct access to me and the community and what we're doing. Make sure you check it out. There's a bunch of really cool stuff that you get access to. Different levels. You get access to my guided meditations and affirmations. They're available as well. Patreon.com/TruthSeekah. Also, if you have not had a chance to check out my new book, Spirit Realm, Angels, Demons, Spirits, and the Sovereignty of God, forward by the great Jordan Maxwell. If you haven't had a chance to check this out, make sure you read it. I'm getting a lot of really cool reviews. I've been posting them on my Facebook if you follow me there. Really cool. Changing people's lives, man. The magic behind the art, expression, creativity, and just being open and honest about your story, man. And you know, you never knew that it had that much impact just by being honest, sharing your story. So check out the book, everything that we're bringing to the table, TruthSeekah.com. Everything is there. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into today's podcast. My guest today is Scott Howard. Scott, welcome to the TruthSeekah Podcast, man. How are you?
Great to be here. I'm awake.
He's awake. You said you keep musician hours and you work through the night.
Yeah, I'm a Capricorn, so I guess the moon, and then for some reason I seem to be more creative when it's dark out. So it just seems to be the way it works.
Interesting, man. I'm a Capricorn too, and you were just before we went live, you were like, "Yeah, we have a very similar journey," and then, hey, hints. Capricorn's journey, you know.
It's been a very interesting time for 2020 is the year of manifestation and synchronization too.
Yeah, it is. So talking about I just want to hold on. I'm gonna preface this right. I want to introduce you first, or at least let you introduce yourself, because I've already got questions for you out of what you just said. I'm gonna write it down. Get back to it. But for the people who don't know who you are, what you bring to the table, just kind of give a quick overview of who you are and what you do.
Well, what am I? That's a good question. I guess I'm in the process of becoming a 5D human, but a singer-songwriter. I say about 5 years ago, I went through an awakening of sorts, and where I guess the source decided it was time to take the training wheels off and kind of gave me a view behind the veil, which freaked me out. But, I got used to it after a while. And then it ended with me actually meeting an angel. Then my music, I was kind of like put in the direction of bringing a new genre of music to the earth, which is called source music. It's in a different frequency, a different tuning, which is 432. And at the same time, my subject matter of my music is pretty much to, awaken people. It's a positive message, which is new, I guess. And hopefully it seems to be resonating, worldwide. And my new album coming up should also have a rather large impact, which is called The Language of Clouds. Then my son was taken in 2018. He was 29, and also placed me on another, direction or path. And so all my work involves charity, for young adults, mental illness, as well as child trafficking and things like that, pedophilia. So, and then of course the planet itself, which no one seems to be caring about lately.
Yeah, man, you said a mouthful, man, and I've been listening to the album all morning. The Ascended Man, is that the name of it?
That is my earlier album. Yes, it's really a terrific album. If you liked, I kind of think it's kind of like my Teeth of the Tillerman. It's kind of like if you like Cat Stevens, Teeth of the Tillerman, it's kind of like that genre. It seems to have its own like a concept album, which hasn't been done for a while. It's the beginning of my journey, and it tells people or asks people to come with me, and come along with my journey within. And so I think it's doing very well, as a matter of fact. So
yeah, it's good. I've been listening to it all morning. I think one of the songs that stood out to me was the song "Awaken." I really like that one. I like how it's got the rocky vibe. There's something about it when you add the synth layer, the choir and the synth behind it, which is, you're talking about, the different frequencies that are able to kind of put your body in a relaxed state to kind of meditate to, and almost kind of go on a journey by listening to the music. There's a lot of even heavy, aggressive music, metal, and then they have the synth there, and it just really changes everything up. I really like what you did on the album with the synth there, and it's done really well.
Well, you can go to my YouTube channel, Scott Howard, and you can watch my music video. All my websites, scotthowardmusic.com, and you can watch the music video there. I've got about 5 music videos for 5 of the songs on Ascended Man. I think you've got Awaken, which I remember when I wrote that song too. It was very, I kind of feel my music is channeled. Because a lot of times by the time I'm done, it's like, who wrote that? It's a pretty good song. I don't remember writing that song, but in my next album, really, it's going to be very, very interesting because about 5 years ago, I realized I bought a camera, and that was kind of like the start of my journey. I bought one of the Nikon P900 cameras, and every time I look on YouTube and someone starts a story, like a paranormal story, they've all bought a P900 camera. And for some reason, the lens started not showing the same thing as my eye. So I realized something's going on here because I'm missing something with my eye. My eye is kind of like filtered, and the camera is not. And so that was the beginning of my odyssey. And I actually began with a photograph of my balcony at night. It was like pitch black. I live on the beach in Florida, and I took a photo of just my balcony. I don't know why. And I got an alien woman, or maybe it was a fairy. She had a crown, and she showed up kind of like a smoky image, which if I can figure out how to show it to you on here, I will, or I can email it to you. But very interesting photo of a woman. And so I realized something's not right here. I was getting etheric beings in the picture, and it actually. Then one night I had like an orb came over to me outside, and one orb became 2 orbs, and 2 orbs became 3 orbs. I thought it was a good thing, but after now I think that they were archons, so I don't think it was a good thing. But and that began my battle between good and evil. I went through quite a bit. I saw an armada of cloaked ships come over my condo. And of course, I said, please don't stop here. Please don't stop here. And of course, they stopped here, and they parked themselves above my home and pretty much filled the sky with just, I guess, screens. Yeah, because the sky pretty much it's the biggest TV, on the planet. And I get the most amazing photographs of the 5D realm, which is the cloud layer. The clouds it's a 5D realm. It's just moving quicker. So to us, it looks like clouds. Is that
the connection with the new album? Just the sky and the language of clouds?
I took pictures for about 5 years, and it's going to be a book as well as the album. It's going to be also in vinyl. And so it'll be like an album vinyl book, if you like, almost like a coffee table book with pictures of all the bunch of pictures I've taken over the last 5 years. And they are not clouds. These are wild photos. So people are going to be looking, a cloud photo, book, and it's not, it's not, they're not in Kansas anymore. And they're going to realize really quick that the clouds are not what they think it is. It's literally a 5D realm. It's past, present, and future going on at the same time in the sky.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're cute little billowy clouds, but they're not. They are a real realm with souls and beings and buildings and pyramids and castles and
in
dragons, and you name it. It's all there. I got pictures of them all in the sky, and so the album itself will have the book, and you can listen to the music, which is, you'll like it. It's some great new music there as well. And listen, Ascended Man is fantastic. I love it. And, but this is 432 at its best, and it's going to lead to the World Ascension concert, which is what I'm doing this year. It's going to hopefully go all over the world, and it'll allow me to perform in 432. I'm going to be shooting a show, a concert. It'll take about an hour or so. It'll have I'll be performing with my band, the Ascended Man album, and some of the new stuff too.
Man, I got so many questions, and I want to stay on this vein because you mentioned 432. So the whole album is done in 432, right? The Ascended Man as well?
Yes, everything's 432. It's the only thing that, when my son passed away, I went into the music studio and I just wrote for 2 weeks. I didn't come out, and I just kept on writing, and it was very cathartic. Otherwise, I would have killed myself. But I realized that if I'm not dead by now, after all the things that I've been through in my life, God has got me, or Source has got me here for a reason. And it became quite obvious that they want me to introduce this new genre of music it's a retuning. The music used to be at 432. Our planet was at 432, or a higher resonance, and the darkness came over the planet. I want to say probably, we don't even know. I'm getting 50,000 years ago. It could be 250,000 years ago, and the reptilians took over everything, and they took us way down to basics. And I think we've had like 13,000 years now to get through this and ascend, which is not an easy thing. Normally you do it in hundreds of thousands of years, but believe me, I've seen quite a bit in the sky. I've watched horses literally ride across the sky.
Wow.
I've seen battles in the sky.
You've seen battles.
Seen Archangel Michael's sword twice, and I remember. I think it was one of the holidays. I went out to the beach, and I was asking Source for forgiveness, and 4 demons came in the sky, and these were scary looking demons. And I asked God for forgiveness, or Source, and 4 daggers came out of the sky and hit all 4 of the demons, and then Archangel Michael's sword shot up in the sky. It had to be, 10 miles long.
Man.
But it was quite...
I'm trying to find this picture. There's a picture. It's a painting from, I believe it was when there was a UFO sighting in Jerusalem. Right. I believe it was. And there was one of these ships that looked like a sword. I don't know if you remember seeing that.
The clouds all of a sudden became solid. They became a perfect sword. Believe me, when the clouds want you to see what they do, they do. They've spoken to me too.
Clouds or the ships that are in the clouds?
Good question. Yeah. I'm gonna guess that let's put it this way. I was taking a video one night and I saw clouds having sex.
Wow.
And I started taking video of it, and it said, "Do you mind?" So I thought, "Oh, I'm sorry." So it was it's
a whole nother level of consciousness, right?
Yeah. Evidently my frequency was going up, and of course people weren't seeing what I was seeing, and so I looked like I was crazy.
So I'm gonna try to share this this picture here. There's a couple of these. I know I can share it on the let me see if this will work. I don't know if this is gonna pick up. You can see that, right?
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and I can this right down the black long thing was, I guess it could be Archangel Michael's considered his sword. But what I saw obviously wasn't black; it was white. It looked like a cloud. But I've also seen the cigar shape with the circles.
Yep.
What you're looking at a lot of time is the cloud bank along the ocean is literally a docking facility. So it looks like clouds, but you can literally see. I've got video of the cigar-shaped cloud, but it wasn't a cloud. It looked very, very solid. Literally come off the cloud and then move like this. And I had all the beings literally coming out of the clouds and loading up on the ship.
Wow.
The thing is, because they're moving so quickly and we're moving so slow because we're so dense.
Yep.
Us, it looks like fog, like the Roadrunner on the cartoons.
It's really weird. We're like in the middle, because like if you understand light,
it's hollow.
If you understand light and the way that the angels move and they travel, they're really fast. We're in the middle, but if you look at plant life, they're really slow. And so if you was to record, a flower blooming or communicating, it's really slow. But if you record it and speed it up, they get to move like us. So there's this weird, when it comes to time and us being like experiencing matter slowed down, we're created a little bit lower than the angels.
What do you think makes the clouds have to rely on time? The only way to catch them is on video. That's why when you hold a video camera to a cloud, you can see them move, because it forces the cloud to deal in our time. So what happened was I was videotaping the cloud, and all of a sudden these little black things that everyone thinks of, dark part of the clouds became people. and the people were walking up and down the clouds like they were walking up and down mountains, but they were doing it pretty quick.
I think that goes back to in the scriptures where Jacob seen a ladder ascending from heaven to earth, and there's angels going up and down from the clouds in the scriptures. Yeah, well, Jacob's ladder.
I was regressed by a therapist in Miami, and I told him I was Ra, which I didn't expect that answer. And I was very upset that they destroyed the pyramids. I said, why? I was literally hysterical crying that they destroyed my pyramids. And I started speaking Egyptian. And now this guy records everything. It's the ABCs of psychology. If you got a guy being regressed, you better make sure you have it on video. And of course, it didn't show up on video. And the second time I was regressed, I saw myself on a ship in a battle above a planet, and I saw myself losing the battle, and it was against the reptilians, and I was placed on Earth. This is a prison planet, and I guess most of the people don't realize that, but we've got to raise our frequency to get off it.
You started seeing these entities and taking pictures of them and stuff. You said you at first you felt like they were positive, but then there was some negative stuff that would come through, right, as well. So there's how do you discern the ones that are positive and the ones that are negative?
Well, the ones that were negative weren't very nice. They freaked me out. I mean, the things that I saw, I have got photographs in the sky of some pretty dark clouds. Normally the dark ones are the dark clouds, from what I've seen. But they do mess with your head, and they're always there. There are beings all in your home. They're here. I mean, I was seeing things crawling on the walls and things, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going crazy. I'm seeing these little things like spiders on the walls and stuff, and I didn't know what the hell it was. And these beings are everywhere. They're in our home. They're on our beds. I mean, you're seeing them more and more. So as I go up in frequency, I see more of other realms. And it's kind of like the harder you work, the luckier you get. So the higher you go in frequency, the more synchronicity works for you, the more, I guess good things go on. But you're still going to have to go through some of that bad stuff as you go up, because they're in a higher frequency. And, I see them. And they're in the corner of the room, and they're just sitting there, but they're not going to say anything. But that day 5 years ago, they came out, and it started with the armada of cloaked ships. You can see that I have videotape of them with light ships going in and out of the cigar-shaped craft. But it was a cloud, but it was craft. And then it went from there to 3 beings standing up in the sun. That was also very interesting. I had a videotape, and I had it on the sun. I don't know why I had it on the sun, and 3 beings stood up in the sun like this, and this is the sun, and they just stood up. And I said to them, let me get this straight. So if I call somebody in right now, you're going to sit down and make me look like I'm crazy. So, but I had it on videotape, and thank God I had it on iMovie. So I was able to go through iMovie, and I saw how they did it, which is smoke and mirrors. Like they literally put a green screen suit on, and they scrunched down in front of the sun. And they just stood up, which is even more scary, which meant they have total control over reality, which I learned really quick. That there literally are, I have pictures of attachments to our buildings. Like in a balcony, there's an attachment to our building. You can't see it, but it's there. It's almost like a stage in front of attached to our buildings. It's the strangest stuff that I've been catching. Every time I touch a camera, strange things happen. I've got pictures of alternate universes, parallel realities on photographs. Where I was at a concert, I was doing a show. I took a picture of my PR people, and they showed up like in multiple different looks. It was a young representation, an older representation, and they were in different outfits. And it's just different realities in the same photo. wild. So whenever I touch a camera, strange things happen. And then, that same thing, I guess, with music. I deal with frequency. And I went for a reading from, I think, Rebecca Fearing. And she said that you have two people working with you. And she didn't know anything about me. And she said you have Nikola Tesla working with you, and you have John Lennon. I said I couldn't have better spirits working with me right now. So Tesla, obviously, because of frequency, and John regarding, obviously, hopefully regarding the music, which is actually my next album, which will become quite evident when you hear it, why John was involved.
Wow. I did a consultation with a lady a couple weeks ago, and she was talking about how she was able to see these spirits and stuff, right? She's taking pictures of them, and she had all these pictures, and she hasn't really shown anyone. I said, well, she was really scared though. Like she was, and for me, I like to, I'm in contact myself, and so, but it's with the higher beings, right? The beings of light and love that are here to assist. But like you said, you got to deal with the lower guys. They're out there, right? And I was just trying to reassure her, and she was saying that, she's scared of them and these kind of things. But she sent me the picture. She said, now they look scary. They look like monsters. And there's something that James Gilliland spoke of, he said, he almost said, like, don't be like racist almost. Don't judge them by their appearance because they look different, or they look what we would consider grotesque, or they don't, look like a beautiful woman, right? They don't look like a beautiful Palladian or whatever the case is. Some of them look. So don't judge the entities by the way they look. And the lady sent me the pictures of the entities that she caught, and they look really strange, man. It was in the shadows, and these ghostly figures would appear with faces and would look like these old alien grays, and they looked scary.
I picked them up when I first during my awakening. Everywhere in the sky were grays. I mean, everywhere. Every picture I took was a cloud with grays. It's like they wanted me to see the grays. And I even have some pictures now that I got one picture of a ship, and on the top of it's got a picture of what the aliens look like on the ship. So they want you to see what they look like. And at first I was very scared, because obviously it's different for me. But no, I mean, they're not, they look different, but you're right. Some are not, they look like, aliens, but off-world. They don't like to be called aliens. They like to be called off-world beings. That was another thing I caught. They don't like that word because they've probably been here longer than we have.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, man, who's picking up the camera, and I got a good friend of mine, Bill Bean, he's a Christian minister. He's an exorcist, but there was a while he wrote his first book was about these encounters that he was having as a kid, where they took pictures of these Grim Reaper like entities that would appear in his house and was tormenting his family, and he got them on camera. But years later, he began to kind of be led by his intuition as well, and started taking pictures of the sky. And when he had the film developed, there was UFO ships all in the film. And so he would just take random pictures, and there were ships in it.
They're everywhere.
He started
every picture I take, every photograph of a cloud is something. I've got pictures of sky beings. I call them sky beings, and you can see the feathers on them. They're 500 foot tall, long birds. I guess some of them look like birds, and you can see the teeth. You can see the eyes. You can see the feathers. And it's just depends upon the way I have an eye for it. And another way is you take your camera, take a photograph of it, and take another camera in video and put it at a 33-degree angle. We're dealing with numbers now, 33, 30, 432. This is, 33 for whatever reason on an angle on your screen, and you will see it becomes 3D. And you can see past, present, and future on your screen, which is what I did when my son first passed. I was told, go outside. I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, 5:38 or something. And I caught the shots of my son's soul going up to heaven. And that'll be the album cover of The Language of Clouds. An amazing shot. And behind my son, and he was a skateboarder. His name is Max, M-A-X-X, Max Henry. And behind him was a young girl. You can see a face of a young girl in the cloud. So again, they're souls. They're not. Some of them are disincarnate, but there's just souls up there. And the giants. I mean, where do you think the Titans went when they died? They were huge. They were the size of mountains. That's why if you look at my music video, Awaken, you'll see they call them mud fossils, huge mountains that are just giants. They look like they're just beings, and it's all part of my information, I guess, I give out during the music video. It's not just the music; it's the information, it's the frequency, it's all of the above. So it helps people awaken and makes them realize that we're not here to have a 9-to-5 job. We're here to fix our problem, and our problem is we're on a prison planet, and we've been placed down in a very low frequency. And we have got to raise the frequency of this planet. The only way to do it is stop playing 440. 440 is what the radio is being played at, TV is being played at. 5G is nightmarish. And 432 is when the listener raises their frequency when they hear this music. And my goal, actually, as funny as said with James Gilliland, I'm trying to get with him because I'd like to do one of the World Ascension concerts on his property, which would be a terrific place to do it because it's great energy.
Yeah, you need to book me on it. I'll definitely come up there.
That's actually my idea, is that I want to do a World Ascension concert with music because, all of these great conventions they have out there have got all these people talking, and they all kind of have this different whistleblowers, but they never have the answer. The answer is the music. They never have somebody doing a concert at night, in 432, and showing this is what the music should be to help all your observations. You're whistleblowing about what, who are we? Where did we come from? If you went to, I think I was on Farsight Institute. It's a bunch of remote viewers. They're terrific people.
Yeah, is that with Courtney?
Yeah, and they have Where Did We Come From? And I watched it, and it's very interesting. We come from a planet, very far from here, and the reptilians came and, blew it up pretty much, and a bunch escaped on a ship, and they came here. And the reptilians came after us, and they pretty much spread darkness, if you will, over this planet here. And this is where we've been, for however long it's been.
How do you keep your sanity after experiencing all of this stuff? Was there a point where you did break down? Was there a breakdown and you had to kind of be built back up? Is it spiritual practice? Is it the music as an outlet, helping others who are hurting? How do you maintain your sanity, man?
Well, when it first happened, it was very hard because my significant other didn't see what I saw, and
that's scary.
So, yeah,
that's really scary.
And so she took me to the doctor, and the doctor was like, he's telling me, you got this problem and that problem, and here's some medication. They go, well, do you have photos of this hallucination? Here's the photos. So it's like, all of a sudden, his great hypothesis of what was wrong with me kind of went out the window because I had photographic evidence of what I was seeing. And but it took me time because, I was also fighting a battle against good and evil here because the evil wanted me too. And it became quite obvious that they were not going to get me. And then when my son passed that evening, I was videotaping the sky. It was at dark, and all of a sudden my cell phone, the screen half of it started going up and down, like half the screen went up, half the screen went down, and I heard like this, like a show, like the curtain would go down, the curtain would go up, and these were still images. I was taking pictures now, not video. And all of a sudden, I started hearing a word over and over again: pray, 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 pray. And I realized I had a feeling it was for my son. I got on my knees and I started praying. And the screen these still images became video images, and the cloud started doing this, and the cloud started praying. And so, believe me, nothing is what you think it is. This reality is pretty much a holographic matrix, and what you think is what it becomes. And the higher you go up in frequency, the faster you can manifest. So hopefully my music will help that. And I don't know if you have any music you can play, or I'd be happy to.
Yeah, we'll put some of it in the show notes as well.
Sure.
Like I said, I've been listening to it, and it's really good. I really like it, so I'm excited to hear the new stuff too. If it's anywhere as good as The Ascended Man, because that's a really good album. Really liked it, again with the synth and stuff in 432. Being able to actually feel the music, you can feel the 432. There's programs and apps that people can download on their phones that converts their favorite songs into 432 as if you play it through this player, which is really interesting. Some of your favorite songs that have been radio hits and things like that, you can listen to it in 432. The weird thing is that it can be a song that's depressing, right? The lyrics are about travail and loss and things like that, are really, like almost getting it out of them. But if it's played at 432, the vibe totally changes. It feels like an uplifting song,
Well, when you first hear 432, it almost hurts. My music is not etheric. My music is like Phil Collins meets Peter Gabriel meets Crosby, Stills and Nash meets Cat Stevens. He meets Yes. It's that kind of vibe music. So it's kind of like a classic sound. But when you hear 440 next to 432 music, that's when you start getting pain at 440. You don't realize how much pain you're getting. They're feeding you 440 on the radio, on TV, and that lowers your frequency. It makes you more dense. And that's exactly what they want. That's the satanic powers that be, that they want you to go down in frequency. They don't want you to wake up. They don't want you to see what's really going on here. And, when you raise your frequency, obviously, it's kind of like when you pray to water. Don't ever drink water when you open it without praying to it. So you want to say love and light, love and light, love and light, or, detox or whatever it is. And it's also the way you say it. It's the frequency of how you say something. And the taste of water is way different before and after. So that's why people pray over food. It's the same thing. But you must pray over your water because it's in a satanic frequency when it comes to you. So you need to make sure that you raise the frequency of the water. So if you looked at a microscope of a 432 crystal water, if you froze it, and a 440 crystal water, that the 440 is chaotic. And that's what the Germans did during World War II. It's kind of history. The Germans during World War II, when they were experimenting on their prisoners, they came to realize that frequency was everything. And if they changed frequency to 440, which was a lower frequency, mind control and disease occurred, cancer occurred. And so they went with that, and they caused a change in the standard of tuning, because the Germans didn't lose the war. The Germans won the war. They just went to Antarctica, and they came back with flying saucers, and they flew over Washington, D.C., and they told D.C., we're going to take our highest scientists, and they're going to work for your companies. And they took over. And so everything became 440. And when 432 is where it needs to be. And that's where my music will hopefully help the world. No, I just lost you. Yeah, no, you're gone.
Strange.
There you
Can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. Yeah, you were gone. Were you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. I don't know about the chat. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me or him or both of us or what. I don't know what's going on with this audio. This is very strange.
Well, sometimes they don't want the information to get out, so they'll mute you.
Yeah. So, going back to the cloud thing, it's very interesting. This is just a theory, man, but seeing, the scripture talks about Satan falling from heaven as lightning, right? And then so the clouds and the lightning that's going on in the clouds is, heat lightning.
Interesting you say that.
There's definitely some correlation there.
The title track of my next album is called "Written in the Clouds," and the lyric. Actually, I'm going to look for the lyric right now. I'm going to pull it up here and here, "Written in the Clouds," and it says, "Let's get out of here." It says, let's see, where is that the right one? Let me go back here. The lyric is it written in the clouds, they say? Is this a lullaby to keep us from our way? Thunder and lightning, the alarm to say, wake up and find your way. So, yes, thunder and lightning kind of makes you wonder what exactly it is. Is it an alarm, to wake up, or is it the darkness? And yes, I think it's a little both.
So there's a difference with the clouds too, right? So you have the, clouds of, that naturally form, and then you have clouds that are man-made. They are cloud seeding. There's chemtrails. There's a perfectly clear day. Jets will fly back and forth and make these patterns, and then within 45 minutes to an hour or two, there's this overcast. There's clouds that are manufactured by our government. The downloads that I got were that those were to cover up the different transits of some of the fleets of UFOs that were traveling back and forth. So the government would go out and almost hide them, hide the ships or whatever with cloud coverage so that they can fly, in the sky without being seen. Have you looked into that at all?
What I find is the veil has definitely gotten thinner, and the fairy realm, and everyone says that it's not. The fairy realm is real, and the cloud realm is kind of like Middle Earth in a way. It is kind of like the fairy realm, and so again, the fairy realm was at a higher frequency. I was living in the hills in California for a while, and I was hearing noises at night. And I put 2 cameras on my roof, and I started picking up elementals on my roof. And it's amazing what you pick up at night up there. And you can literally see the beings coming out of the trees, and you see this, the elementals are everywhere. So the clouds can also be all the cloud, anything that's natural is not. They're not clouds. None of them. They're all beings. Every single cloud up in the sky is
that's
alive.
Good.
The ones that are man-made are man-made, but the other ones either are. It could be the fairy realm. It could be aliens just cloaking as ships, which a lot of times it is. But when I come back to my home in Florida, I'm on the beach and I start taking videos. They love when I come home because I'm the only one that pays attention to them. And what I'll do is I'll go out at night with my guitar and I'll play some of my new music. And obviously the new music's about the clouds. So they love it. So I've literally got videotapes of, I guess, beings like this in the clouds with their hand on their chin like this. Families, like 3 and 4 aliens. Like all of a sudden the clouds will move in towards me and I'm on the balcony and I'm playing. And I'll take shots of them. And I have one of them like with an alien, I think it's a fairy like this, or an alien being just with her or his hand like this, listening to my music. And it's quite amazing the relationship I have with them now. So
you think the music attracts them as well? I mean, it kind of goes without saying, but
absolutely. Yeah. You'll all of a sudden I'll see like a cloud detach and come towards me. And it's almost like a microphone, and all the beings the entire coast is cloud. You don't see it all the time, but it's always there. And I truly believe that they are waiting for the event to take place. And when the event happens with the sun, because I had a dream about that too, that the lens of the sun broke off, whatever that means. Now that could be, I'm still not sure where the hell we are as far as, this reality, but in the dream, something happened to the sun. And I think these beings are waiting on their ships up and down the coast to, come and take us off planet, whether we're in soul form or, body form. But so what they'll do is they'll detach and they'll come closer to me, and whether it's a ship or whatever, just so they can hear what I'm playing the guitar, and they hear it. And yes, it's a we're definitely not in the world we think we're in.
It's crazy, man, because when you talk about being able to see the spirits and the ones that are behind reality, like they hold this thing together. Those are very, very similar messages that I've received as well. And these entities that literally hold our reality together. Yep. And what they look like and appear to people. And part of me, it's so crazy. But part of me wonders, like, if we're supposed to be looking into this stuff, because it's like there's always this thing of like, understanding our divinity, understanding who we are, but really, enjoying the human experience as well, versus like trying to figure out the matrix and what system is running and, how does this stuff work and, all of this kind of stuff that they've kind of kept hidden. I don't know if it's, the spirits behind it or God or whatever that's kept it hidden, or it's the Illuminati or the government that's trying to hide it all, because
it's the lower realm that's been keeping it hidden from us. The light's been hidden from us. If you look at I've got pictures, and there's not much sunlight, really. You think it's a beautiful sunny day, but it's not. I mean, we are not getting as much light as we should be getting, and I truly believe that. That we have been here, well, some of us have been here millions of times. We've reincarnated. It's a crime. What's happened is our memory is wiped each time, and it's wiped in a very painful way as souls. When we pass over, our memories are wiped, and we come back as, okay, you'll be me, I'll be you, I'll be the criminal, you'll be the good guy, and it's back and forth. I had a friend of mine who wrote a book about this, 20 years ago, and I thought, what a great sci-fi idea, but it was true that we have all been each other. I've been you, you've been me, I've interviewed you, you've interviewed me, and we've played each other, and the game is coming to an end. In other words, it comes a time where we played each other, we can't play anymore. And the computer game or whatever this is approaching its finish. These are the end times. This is the end of the game. You've had, I don't know how many tries at this game, and how many times you've been killed, how many times you've been the killer, the killie. And now the idea is, okay, the matrix is breaking down and the game is breaking it down, and I can see it. I have got photographs of the beach. Half the beach is doing one thing, the other half's doing something else in a digital photo. So you can see the line going down the middle. So, definitely the game's breaking down. The matrix is breaking down. They don't want you to see it, but it is. And I'm hoping that my music is helping.
Somebody here in the chat's talking about one of my songs. It says, I have a song called The Four Elements. And it was a collab that we did, and I think it was featuring 4 MCs, and we all took one of the elements or whatever and kind of embodied it through a rap verse. And he says, I was playing the 4 elements, and I stopped playing it. In the window, there was a humanoid floating above the hotel when he was listening to the song.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Music
is powerful, man. We need to,
it's the most powerful thing on the planet besides love.
I'm simply just paying it forward. You know what I'm saying? Of all the beautiful music that I've heard and other songs that have kind of been a catalyst, if you will, a new sound coming to shift you in that in that positive direction or negative, right? There's all those songs as well, but like people are starting to experience that through my music, and I'm getting those testimonies, and people are starting their spiritual awakening journey. They start listening to the music, and then they start seeing synchronicities, or it's filling in some of the blank spaces that they have, or whether it's with philosophy or spirituality, and they're hearing terms in the song that's causing them to look it up. Are you getting any feedback like that the way people are responding to your music as well?
When I first started seeing things, I started making videos, and I took my music and placed it to the videos. And my early videos on my YouTube, you can see my music, and a lot of people would come to me and say, I was suicidal. I didn't know what I was seeing. I didn't understand what I was seeing.
Yeah.
And I was really freaking out until I found your site, and I started watching it. And what I was seeing, you were seeing. And thank God, because now I feel better. So I think the music, all
of it, right? A little bit, all of it.
But there's nothing more important than two things: music and love. That's it. And we've forgotten that. The powers that be have taken the music and they've killed it. They've taken the soul out of music, and some people are waking up to it, but some people are just too far gone and they can't change their music. But some of them are, and I'm hoping that my World Ascension concert, I'm going to ask some of the legacy bands like a Yes, Moody Blues, any of them, but they have to perform in 432. So that's the key. So if they're willing to do that, I'd love to have them on the concert. Right now, I'm going to do it myself, and it'll be my album, Ascended Man, and my new album, The Language of Clouds. So and that I'll have. I'm doing the first chapter of Language of Clouds, which is 3 songs. It's Written in the Clouds, which is the title track. The next one is called Dreamer, and the last one is called The Queen of Hearts. And 3 terrific songs in 432. And definitely go to my my website, scotthowardmusic.com, and just watch for the timing of the broadcasting of the concert, because it'll be on Patreon, Vimeo, social media, so everyone can see it. So they can, and the admission is kind of like a twofold thing. They can subscribe on my, my YouTube channel, and in this way they become a fan.
Have you heard the song "Calling Occupants of Interplanetary Craft" by Klaatu or the Carpenters?
No. The Carpenters? You mean the Carpenters as in the Carpenters?
Yeah, they actually. Yeah, it was originally by a band called Klaatu.
Oh, no,
but they did a remix of it, and both versions are good, but the lyrics are straight up like it's etheric, man. They I just found out about the song. Like, I love my UFO music, right? My songs that are about off-world entities and stuff. And there's some gems that are hidden in songs too.
Oh,
but
yeah,
this one's straight up calling for them to show up and asking for world peace and things like that. Please send us a sighting and a vision. But it's a really cool one. I just found out about it recently. But yeah, it's really good, man.
Realize the aliens are here. I mean, and we're it. No one's going to save us except for us. They're here, and they will take us off world when the time comes. Some will be taken off. Some will hopefully ascend, and they won't have to be taken off. But still, it's the aliens. They've made themselves pretty well known, or off-worlders. They've made themselves. They're here, they're just above. It's the clouds are. It's past, present, and future going on at the same time. So if you put it on video, you'll see them. You take pictures and still image, but you can work with it. But you'll be able to see it on my book. That it's coming along with the album. And, have you tried like doing meditations and stuff to contact them? Do you know any of them by name? Do you call upon them? Have they given you downloads, in the spirit and things like that? Is that kind of a working relationship like that, or how does it, or is it just kind of being introduced to the whole spectrum of beings and what's going on? Like, where do you stand? I don't know. I'm sure I've got downloads.
Just a whole bunch of pieces.
Yeah, my God.
I know, right?
So much that I've been through. When that weekend occurred and, the training wheels came off, if you will, the last thing I saw was a being fly out of the sky and stand in front of me. Long blonde hair, blue eyes, bluest eyes, and it stood there. And I was actually angry. It was very strange. Most people would say, "Oh my goodness." I said, "Can you come back another time?" I told, this angel flies out of the sky, and I go, if anybody sees me talking to you or sees me talking to nobody, they're going to think I'm crazy. Can you come back another time? Come back. I'm a little busy right now. So I guess I was angry in a way, but I think that the angel, which is what I would call him, was there to warn me about the taking of my son, which came a couple of years later. Because normally they show up when some major change is going to happen. And definitely, now I see angel numbers. And that's actually the name of my next album, which is going to be called Angel Numbers. And,
I named an album 333, which is angel numbers as well.
Yeah, but I see them by the minute.
Yeah.
And my angels are talking to me all the time. They're shooting numbers at me all the time. And it's not like 333-111. It's 728-547-265. It goes on and on and on. But but the entire clouds are made up of numbers. Everything, 8, everywhere. All the clouds are just numbers. If you really get close to a cloud, it's all numbers. Everything.
Ones and zeros.
That's ones. Yeah, it's pretty much.
The matrix.
And under the sun, I have a picture under the sun, and there's a little sign that says sun. So everything must be labeled what it is, otherwise it can't exist. And we can't exist. And we all have on our foreheads numbers. We all have angel numbers on our foreheads. We are all tattooed, which is why in the religion they don't want you to be tattooed, because we already are. And the tattoo is divine. So if you look in the mirror and you look long enough, you'll see numbers 88 or 999 or whatever it is. It'll be written on your forehead.
What about 666, the number of man? I know that's a big one that a lot of people fear, but it's actually a good number.
Yeah, 666. Again, it's an angel number. So it depends upon really. They say 666. I think they're playing with numerology. I think it's the internet, the web, or something. Not exactly sure how that works out numerology-wise. I think they came up with some description of what 666 actually means. But you actually are. You could be. I mean, we are tattooed, so it could say 666 on our forehead. Thank God I don't have that on my forehead, but I can see it on people's forehead, which I was not able to do, prior. So I seem to be getting more psychic abilities. My heart, it's always palpitating, and I see things always. I'm always seeing things out of the corner of my eyes, but now I'm seeing them out of the front of my vision. So it's not even a matter of the beings being able to hide from me. They can't even hide from me anymore. I know they're there. Because I see their heads moving in my room. They're always in the corners of the room, and they're always watching us. They don't say much, but they're always observing.
What does this quote mean to you? This is by Joseph Campbell. The psychotic drowns in the same waters in which the mystic swims with delight.
The psychotic drowns in the water. Say it again.
The psychotic.
It's early in the morning for me, so take it easy.
The psychotic, or I've heard this word, schizophrenic,
right,
drowns in the same waters in which the mystic swims with delight.
Ah, okay, all right, interesting. Well, I guess light can be, light is it's light and water. I guess they can be the same thing. Depending upon it's interesting because I'll go in the pool and I'll sit there and. It's like they're kind of one and the same. It's beings can breathe under the water, and we breathe out of the water. I just makes you wonder if this is a holographic reality. We probably could breathe under everything. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, I know all the stuff that we're talking about, man, seems crazy as hell, dude. You know, for like, you know, for the ordinary person, this is crazy as hell. But listen, for the person who has experienced this, for the person who's going through it, it's salvation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have any frame of reference. They think they're going mad. They think they are crazy. They want to take their own life again, like you've you know, gotten the messages and stuff. And for me, it's the reason that I do it. We entertain this stuff, but it's legit. There's a balance there, right? Because you have to hold down a job, you have to pay the bills, you have to keep the lights on. I think that's part of the, the curse or whatever, whether it's the curse of Adam or whatever entities that are kind of watching over us or whatever, that to kind of keep you in this 3D system and not allow you to ascend, right? To always keep, 2 feet on the earth but the head in the clouds at the same time. There's a balance when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And I think that, one of my fears, I'll say this, has been like seeing those crazy people, psychotic people on side of the highway or living under the bridges, talking to themselves. And just seeing the similarities to where you were, these beings are approaching you and want to talk, and you're like, hey, I can't talk right now. There's people around.
Make an appointment. Yes.
There's a fine line of keeping your sanity. And again, like, I know spiritual practice, is it meditation? Is it, getting blissed out on love, with the music and everything? Like, what are some other techniques and things that allow you to,
meditation. You've got to ground yourself. You got to go out to the beach, and you can't meditate in a building. You got to meditate on the ground, on the sand, on dirt, on a rock. You got to root yourself into the planet and meditate every day. And I found that visualization and thank God, my music. You got to do something you love. And all of the musicians, the great musicians, I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm saying is all the musicians that I know, and there's a book written about all the rock musicians, they've all had these experiences, including John Lennon, including, all of the, the Neil Youngs and, so on and so forth. They've all seen UFOs. They've all had experiences. Yep. And, so if you do something you love, and I was a vice president and a president of companies, and I've taken companies public, and I've been down these roads, believe me, and I've been involved, and my music has always kept me on the other side, on the other side of the brain, if you will, the creative side. And I just 5 years ago, I said something happened, and I was told no, don't do this anymore. You need to do this. And I was made aware that, you need to work on your music, and you need to bring your music to the world. And, it's a new genre of music. And it's called source music. It's from source. There's no such thing as soul music. It doesn't come through the soul. It comes from source. And so it's kind of like a misnaming, but still the music is, it comes from source through the soul. We are source. That's actually my song, Source. It's the last song on the album, Ascended Man. We are source. So, I think Ascended Man, people will love, all the songs. There's some great music in it, and I think they'll resonate, with the whole album. And they can see the some of the music videos on my YouTube channel.
What would you say to the people listening to this who think that all of this stuff is demonic? Like that the only thing that you're seeing is demons, and these UFOs or whatever you're seeing in the clouds and things like that are demons messing with you, and you need to stay away from it. Again, because there are those negative entities out there, right? And you have to discern and those kind of things. Yeah,
I mean, you got to feel, always ask the right questions. If they don't, vibe with love and light or the Christ energy, which is what whether Christ was a real being or not, the Christ energy is real. And if they can't resonate with that, then they're not a good, match for you. So it's kind of what you resonate for. So you want to, and again, the higher your frequency, you won't be dealing with those entities anymore. So whatever you are dealing with, it will be for your highest good. And that's what you want to ask for anyway. When you pray, you should always pray, whether again over food or over water or your life, your body's water. I mean, come on, think about it. We are, 80% whatever water. And so you should pray over your body too. Your body is a temple. So a lot of these things were right, but a lot of the things in the Bible were wrong. That's got a lot of misdirection there. But you got to learn how to read it and understand that it's a Star Wars novel.
Yeah, it really is. And, having this awakening, and then you go back and revisit the Bible, or you go back and even revisit Star Wars, you're seeing how much truth was embedded within that movie, and not just that, so many other ones, as far as like stuff that Steven Spielberg put out, and there's all these nuggets and stuff out there with UFO and alien contact and things like that.
That's how magic works. Yeah, magic works. They can't make something manifest if they don't show you some of it. They have to label it, and that's what I was talking about with the sun. I have a picture of a label under the sun. It says sun, S-U-N. So the sun can't exist without it being labeled, and that goes with everything else in this reality. So magic, whether it's through Spielberg or whatever, it must be named before it can manifest. So yes, a lot of the things we see in radio and TV and movies, a lot of it's true, and a lot of it they want to manifest. Most of it's not good.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I don't even know where to go after this. It's so funny because like a lot of those experiences that you're talking about, like I've had, you know what I'm saying? And I've been out there stargazing and looking out of the Earth's atmosphere, trying to see if I can make contact or say hello. And then something, you said a spirit in the trees, and flying through the trees, almost, being able to see through. I've seen entities that look like stingrays flying in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, like,
more and more.
Yeah, you start Googling this stuff and you start finding pictures and videos that look very similar to some people have caught this stuff and shared it online. But if it's not for that person who is willing to have the conversation or title a video or title an image or a blog post or whatever, you'll never know. But for the person who's been open and honest and say, hey, I took these pictures of these entities that look like stingrays flying in the night sky. Has anybody else ever seen one? And then you have some type of frame of reference and to know that you're not going mad. You're not the only one that's seeing this kind of stuff.
Well, it's very interesting. I truly believe that we're moving between realities every day. And for whatever reason, every time I go on YouTube, I see a new animal, a new species.
Yeah.
It didn't exist in my yesterday. And all of a sudden I'm seeing a bird that stands on its two, like with its wings like this. And it's a hawk. They call it gorilla hawk or something. And that didn't exist in my reality. Or even the pyramids. I look at the pyramids and I remember a dark one. I remember a dark pyramid, and I remember they never had a temple in front of the pyramid. In my reality, they didn't have that. In this reality, there's a temple in front of the pyramid. I said, it's not mine. I remember how the pyramids were when I was a kid, because I was always interested in, pyramids. And I looked at them now, and they don't resemble what I remember. The same thing is my son, before he was taken, his social security number was my phone number as a kid.
What?
Is it possible? How could my son's social security number be my phone number as a child? If this is not a matrix, if something ain't going on, it's impossible. The odds are astronomical. So something's definitely going on in this reality that we're kind of like waking up to every day.
A lot of people in the chat are talking about the Mandela effect. I'm sure you've heard of that, right?
Well, I was going to bring it up, but I figured it's the synchronicities right there.
Yeah,
anyway.
so HAARP and CERN, you're talking about the sky and clouds, HAARP and CERN and some of the stuff that they're doing. There's people out there who are really big into, as far as the research goes, looking up HAARP and CERN and Project Bluebeam and Blue Book and all of this kind of stuff. And so any of those experiences and things that you're seeing, they think that it's all government. They think that even whether you're seeing these ships or these beings, if you will, that are communicating with you, they think it's the government sending you thoughts telepathically. The government is showing you this stuff and messing with you and getting you ready for the fake rapture and things.
5D is the problem. You got to be, that's going to be the nightmare. And there's something you can buy online which actually shields you from 5D. I think it's like $333. No, I have that. I've got like this is actually this is a machine. This is a computer. I don't say not a chip, but it looks like I don't know what it looks like. It's about this big. It's $333, and it literally shields you against 5D. You go on and Google it. But it's something I've actually looked into, and of course I showed it to my my significant other, and she said I'm crazy. So it's I guess something we'll figure out. But I've got pyramids like that, the exact one actually, and I got this one right here. This is actually a candle with crystals inside, and actually I've got a line of clothing that I'm coming out with. Actually, it looks like this hat, but it's got a protective symbol on it, and it's going to have crystals. It'll be moldavite will be over the third eye, 432. Moldavite here. It'll have quartz on the top, but it'll be on the clothing. So this is moldavite right here, and this helps you manifest. But this will be on the clothing. So it'll now be over your third eye and help you open your third eye. There you go. So it's called Ascension 432 wear. Ascension wear. Well, yeah, and it's also a shirt. It's got the emblem. It's a protection emblem. Emblem. And it's actually 8888, and it's for protection. And that's why I see 8s all the time. And it goes over your chakras. Goes over your heart chakra, your solar plex chakra, and the chakra. And then again over your third eye here. And then we'll have shoes. It could be for your feet, but the crystals will be on the clothing in themselves, so it'll help. I'll be wearing actually one of the skull caps. It's not a skull cap. It's got a sleeve kind of. This is for animals. This one here.
That's interesting you say that because. I talk a lot about crystals and stuff like that, but I kind of link everything back to the Bible, like showing you biblical references and stuff. And so the ephod, which is something that the priests would wear before they would go into the presence of God, and it had it was a vest, and right. It had crystals all over it. It had 12. One that was represented for each tribe, and as they would put all of these certain crystals on this grid, a crystal grid, it would put them in tune to go and have a conversation with God, whether they were able to astral travel or summon Yahweh or whatever it was. But it would, as long as they were wearing that ephod, the priest would go in and commune with God, as it would change their vibrational frequency to go in and receive. Ephod, E-P-H-O-D, ephod. Mm-hmm. And then so it's funny you're talking about like having it on your head or whatever. So I talk about in the book or whatever, but the crown and the scepter and things like that the kings would wear are like the ephod for the head to put your body in this.
This is what it's going to be. It'll have the moldavite here, which is for manifestation. It'll have quartz up here for protection. And quartz also magnifies all of the crystals, and then I'll have for healing. It'll be here in the back. It'll be like not an amethyst, but aquamarine for healing. So it'll always have 3 crystals on the headwear. for manifestation over the third eye, protection here, and it'll have the protection grid will be all over the hat, which is what you need. It'll probably be for also meditation, because I'll have meditation mats with that symbol on it, with the crystals on it. And this way you'll have, because when you meditate, you open yourself up to everything, and you got to be, careful, and you have to protect yourself. And that's what the Ascension wear is for.
It's interesting. It's probably going to be pretty expensive too, though, especially with the Moldavite, right?
At least $7,000.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
not sure. Yeah, it won't be crazy because it'll be over this area. Moldavite is not cheap. You're correct, but it won't be too expensive because it just needs to be over this area. It won't be very large. It'll be over like when you remember when you were a kid, you had sparkles. Put your name in glue and you put the sparkles on it. It's the same concept with crystals. It'll be. I've got 432
bedazzled. It was a machine called bedazzled.
It won't be too bedazzled, but it'll protect you, and it'll help you with ascension and your awakening, your journey within.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I've got a bunch of crystals and things like that around here, and they definitely change your vibration. I used to tell people, like, when you go to a crystal shop, just pick them up and hold them in your hand and just see how it makes you feel.
Yes.
Well, I'm saying, there's so many, they're like, man, which one do I buy? And they do different things, and shungite and things like that, block some EMF frequencies. And shout out to, I got a couple friends who bought me some Moldavite. This was from Lee and Christina, and they sent me this.
Very nice.
I dropped it.
What color is that?
It's green. It looks black, but it's green. Yeah, it's green.
Good.
It looks black on here, but in the light, it's green if you hold it.
Yes, this one here. This one is. Let's see, where is it? Right there. This one here is wrapped on it. This was actually blessed by I think a Buddhist priest. This piece here, and I had it wrapped on there. It's a nice size piece. I've got two of these, it's on a quartz necklace, which magnifies the energy of the Moldavite, which you can't. When you just first get Moldavite, you can't wear it for more than 45 minutes because you start going through a Moldavite cleanse. And you end up getting rid of all your friends. it takes you away from anything that's not in your highest.
Good. I know, right? So when I started burning sage, I had a friend of mine come over here. He was a big time hip hop artist, and he came over, and he's like, "Man, does that stuff work?" Because I wasn't burning it; it was just in the house, and it was like. I said, I think so. I said, because when I started burning it, I started losing all my friends. So I guess it did. And I remember going to the Indian powwow. We go to the Porch Creek powwow down here, Native American, and there's a bunch of booths set up, and they sell sage, and they sell crystals, and copal. They sell all kind of stuff. And one of them was burning sage. I was like, you might not want to burn that sage. You might be running off some of your customers, who have that dark energy. They'll come in and buy some stuff from you too, but they're going to keep them away. So
the Indians
all of that stuff, man. There's a reason that the ancients believed in this stuff, man. And I think we're returning back to that with
that's really what it comes down to.
Practice.
People have forgotten. They've forgotten who we are, why we're here. We're not here to work 9 to 5. We're here to fix ourselves and to get off this planet and stop. Get off the prison. This is a prison planet, and this is a recycling planet. Anyone that was not that was a political prisoner could be a musician like myself, or again, one of my incarnations, I saw myself losing a battle above a planet, and they stuck me here because I lost a battle against the reptilians. I saw myself fighting a battle above a planet, when I was regressed. And they would not allow me to be regressed again. They just would not allow me to see. I couldn't be hypnotized anymore. It was hard enough to get hypnotized those 2 times. And they stuck me here. So we're all on this planet for, because some planet we were on before either A, didn't want us there and we were put here as a punishment, or, we're here we've been asked by other light beings to come here and help, raise the frequency of the planet and help Mother Earth go to 5D, because it's going to go with or without us.
Got a couple questions here in the chat. I'm going to relate to you. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and post them now. We'll try to get them over. So we'll run through some of these kind of quick. You're talking about Earth being a prison planet. So this is a question from the chat. Is Earth a sphere, or is it a flat plane? Planet or flat Earth? Do you believe in flat Earth?
They say it's a toroid. It is not a flat. It is not round.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
Somebody's listening.
That was weird. Was that you or me?
That's you.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, that's my phone. Oh my goodness. That's
my Alexa.
Phone. No, that's my phone. That's
Google?
weird.
Okay, Google, play TruthSeekah on YouTube.
Right. The heck was that? That was weird. Yeah, they say the Earth is a toroid.
Hey, my phone did it. My phone did it. When I said that, my phone did it. Nice.
Let's see. I'll show you a picture of what the Earth is.
I'm trying to say that loud so everybody's phone will play it.
Oh, I can actually show you pictures now of my phone here, but yeah, this is actually the cover, my album cover. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if you can see that. That's my album cover. Yeah, that's the clouds. And if you look, and if you make it bigger, let's see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can make it better for you to see.
It's a beautiful picture. You took that?
Yeah, I took that picture. You can see the clouds are looking up at my sun. How much of you can see this? Yeah, that's right there.
Okay, Google.
Play
TruthSeekah.
Yeah. So anyway, but the Earth's shape, from what I'm being told, it's a toroid. And a toroid is kind of like a hourglass shape.
Yeah. So there's your answer, guys. As far as flat Earth is concerned, let's see here. There were some more questions too. Let me see if I can remember them. If I didn't,
this is actually what my clothing looks like. This is the protection symbol that's over you with the circles, and there's your 432 on it, and that's actually a skull cap. And it'll on the 432 here, you'll have the 4 will be in moldavite, and the 3 up here will be in quartz. And this is a protection symbol. It's a grid, and it protects, your head against EMF waves, against negative energies, and so on and so forth. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, Adam wants to know, have you heard about the Ra key made by Arcturus Ra?
The Ra key? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's probably some key that lets you communicate with Ra.
Yeah. This is the clothing. That's the symbol over your chest. You can see that your heart chakra right there, in black and white, and this is the protection symbol right there. Let me see if you can. It's kind of like that. That's your protection symbol.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's it's over the chakra areas. I know I took a picture of what the Earth's shape is. I wanted to try to show it to you if possible, if I can find it here. But I've got plenty of clouds. Years and years of clouds. Wait, when the book comes out, it's going to freak people out. Let's see here. But with the Ra key, I'm not sure what the Ra key is.
Let's see. Chris wants to know, do you think that reincarnation is the reset button, or will it, or can it be infinite? Whatever. I'm not.
Reincarnation, again, we live in a recycling planet, and we are forced to recycle, if you will, and come back. It's not a good thing. There is no karma. They tell us that you did this wrong, so you got to come back again and fix what you did before, and that's why you've had all these bad people on the planet. They know the game, and they know that this is not real, and most of the people in the airport you walk by are not even true souls. Some are, some aren't. There's only infinite amount of souls on this planet, and so there are a lot of clones. I'll tell you that much.
A lot of NPCs, non-playable characters in video games.
Exactly.
They're just there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we live in a very interesting world.
Christy wants to know, are we reincarnated to ultimately become ascended masters? Is that the goal, for us to ascend and kind of get it right and reach the next level?
Well, we if we realize who we are, we will ascend. If we just do things as who we are, which we are source, we are ascended beings already. We just forgot. We've been taken out of the game, if you will, and we've been placed here. So until we remember who we are, we're going to keep coming back in this prison. So it's like living over and over and over again. It's just it's a crime. We're literally here as criminals. These are just some clouds. You can see with the like rabbit ears on the clouds and stuff, and it's just crazy. I mean, it's an interesting when you see what the clouds actually are. The Beatles actually had it when they came up with Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what my next album is kind of about. It's I call it my Sgt. Pepper's, and hopefully, the rest of the world will like it.
I've got some of these.
Yep, this is a little guy up on a cloud. See him in purple. He's got antenna, and he's actually waving at me. You can see him in pink, purple on top of the cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've it's to him who has eyes, let him see, right? I mean,
yep.
You're able to see these things, other people.
Well, they're there. Everyone's got a camera, so that's why things are starting to show up a lot more. I mean, it's all there. I mean, and because the veil is becoming so thin, you're seeing things you never saw before. So you're going to pick up the fairy realm, and you're going to pick up. They've got pictures of floating cities in China. They're there. I mean, they were drawn in the Indian Marbata. I mean, it's all there. It's just we forgot. And so I was actually there during the I forget what they call it in the Marbata, where you actually pray over the sunset. And I was taking videos the whole week in Florida, and every morning the cloud beings would be around the sun when it came up, and they would go be around the sun when it went down. And that time of the when you have to catch the sun and make your wish, I have videos of old men in wheelchairs, literally being pushed up with young men, clouds. They were beings, and they were being pushed up to the sun so they can make their prayer. It's a weird situation. All these like Chinese junket ships in the shape of clouds were coming and into the sun so they can make their pilgrimage to the sun and make their wish for the next 26,000 years of prosperity. And it's like they crowded the sun. I couldn't get through to see get even a piece of the sun to make my my wish. But hopefully they caught it.
Man, interesting, man. I can go on for hours with you, bro. I really enjoyed it, man.
If you can play some music, that'd be great.
For sure. I'm going to put some of the lyrics in the show description here, and definitely I've been listening to it on Spotify. But if there's a link where you can send people to check out the music, I know Chris Garner's already posted your YouTube here in the chat. But what's the link that you want people to go to check out your work, your website, YouTube? Go ahead and plug that stuff right quick.
Yeah, my the YouTube will obviously show my 5 music videos with Scott Howard. But Scott Howard Music is my website, which people can sign up for and get the information on the concert, the World Ascension concert, 432. Again, ScottHowardMusic.com, and again, Scott Howard, my YouTube channel. And have them subscribe, because that's part of the entry fee, if you will, to watch the. It's one of the prerequisites to watch the Ascension concert.
Good stuff. Yeah, if you get any information for that, you want to go up to East Seti, Trout Lake, Washington, Mount Adams. Let me know if you want to do that.
I want to talk to him. Yeah, and I like people like yourself, to come and speak, and that's my goal, is to have like a, instead of something around the whistleblowers, have it around the music, which is really the answer to everything. It's nice to talk about, the earth is hollow and blah, 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 but what's going to get us off the earth? And that is going to be the music. It's the frequency. And so the answer, that's what I want, the concert. And then have people like yourself, and have people like, Corey Good and David Wilcock and Laura Eisenhower, who I've spoken to.
What do you think about Corey Good? You like his stuff, the Blue Avian stuff, or?
I think, again, what he has seen is his reality, and it's what he's seen. So, I mean, he's very lucky to have been, chosen to be involved in that situation. And again, he's been remote viewed as well by, I think it was Farsighters, another group, remote viewed him. And they said that it's real. What he's seen is real. It's very interesting is that they actually remote viewed Oak Island, which really was interesting. It's not what everyone thinks is on Oak Island. It's almost like a reality matrix machine that keeps our reality in check. It's like a machine that it could be at the moon, because they said the moon is a hologram. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I know it's a hollow artificial, satellite. But whatever's in Oak Island is not gold. It's a machine that I think keeps our reality, our matrix reality, in check, which is going to be very interesting. Let's see, what happens. They buried something down there that's not what they think it is. But
wow.
Anyway, that's just more another rabbit hole. You don't need to go that direction.
We've already given them enough to chew on.
Listen to my album, listen to Ascended Man, and
it's a good album. It's a good album. Like I said, I really like the song Awaken. Let's end with this. Got a question for you about one of your lyrics. What did you mean when you said a man with no love of life is living in sin?
Well, again, if you're not enjoying life, then you're an idiot. If you haven't figured out your mission in life, then you're not enjoying life. If you haven't figured out love, then you're living in sin. So we're here to figure out why we're here. We're here to enjoy why we're here. We're not here to work hard and hate life every day. And that's
not here to work until you're 65 and retire and enjoy the rest of the couple of years.
I'd rather enjoy my life from
right
now, because there'll be no Social Security anyway. It's like whenever it's time for you to get your money, it's like, oh, sorry, we're closed. So I think that we're here to figure out why we're here now, and to enjoy. Pick something you love to do, and you'll make money at it. And my love, hopefully, people are resonating with, and and hopefully I'm helping the world, because I'm at a point now where I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it to help the planet. I'm here, for my son, and I'm here to help children and the planet, because the planet is a mother, and we live in a female spirited world. I mean, they changed it to a male, but it's a female reality. The earth is a Mother Gaia. So I actually wrote a song called "The Name," which is going to be on the new album too. Which it's like we've forgotten the name of God. We always think it's something, and God's name is love. So just we can go off with that.
Good stuff.
It's the highest frequency is love, and the color lavender.
Good stuff. Well, Scott, man, I really enjoyed it, man. When the new album comes out, send me an email. Let's do it again. Love to have you back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, brother. Many blessings.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
Oh, Scott Howard, ladies and gentlemen, we covered a lot. There was a lot to be said for, and the clouds. You've seen some of the pictures. I've seen some of the pictures as well. Some of his pictures he showed me, but again, people sending me pictures of entities and beings that are in the shadows, and when you take a picture, you see them. So I will say, I don't know how much is on his website right now, but Bill Bean's pictures were very interesting. Bill Bean had some really interesting pictures of ghosts and of UFOs and things like that. Some of you guys listening said that you wasn't able to see my screen when I was showing the picture. Let me see if this will show now. Okay. So that's the picture there that we're talking about, that I wanted to share about. I think it was over Jerusalem, and then there's all of the stuff that happened in the sky, and there's this weird sword type UFO craft that he was even talking about seeing Michael's sword. Just to throw this out there too, just for research, but as far as like a biblical eschatology, I'm more of a preterist, right? Believing that a lot of this stuff in the Bible has already happened, that all the prophecies and things like that Jesus spoke about was going to happen. You got to look back at history, man, because everybody's waiting for like the sky to part and Jesus to come back. Man, there's stuff, if you go back and read the articles behind some of the stuff that happened in Jerusalem, like there was like some of this stuff happened. They said that Jerusalem was tormented by some type of black ship or something like that in the sky. It's like, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of stuff that very well could have been the second coming in, whatever year, whether it was so many years after Christ or what died, and then after Jerusalem, right, to come back to save everybody after the wars in Jerusalem, when Jerusalem was overran by the Romans in 70 AD, right, and people were killed, and all those prophecies came to pass, where it's talking about there'll be bloodshed, and the children, women will be eating their children and things like that were starved. All that happened. So there's some really interesting stuff, and this isn't just the only one. There's a bunch of stuff, and that's one thing that I liked about the website BibleUFO.com. It's no longer up anymore. I want to restore it. So if anybody wants to help with that, I've actually purchased, I think it's BibleUFO.net, his Patrick Cook's website that he built, and it had all of these historical. Let's see if I can. Well, I don't have time right now, but he has all of these different historical sightings of UFOs and what could be UFOs and things like that in history. Then he's got all these Bible verses and things like that could be UFOs, and it's very interesting. But the site, his wife sold the .com and didn't keep the site up. It's probably expensive. It's like over 100,000 pages, but the info that was on that website was amazing, and I want to restore it. I want to, actually bring it back, man. So, Chris Garner says there were reports of crafts over the Black Plague areas. Yeah, let me see if I can, let's see. So let me just type in. I know it's probably trying to look up. There's so much stuff. If you look up the ancient UFO stuff, it's just really cool. It's stuff that I like as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed the interview, man. Just the way the mind works and consciousness, and I didn't, maybe it was too small, I don't know, but I didn't see those things in the pictures. There's a lot of pictures that people take that I don't see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not able to see the spirits or them waving or whatever the case is. I don't know. Let me see if I can. So here's for those of you watching. This is a picture of one of Bill Bean's UFOs, a thing unidentified flying object by Bill Bean in 1996. This is on Coast to Coast. That's really hard to make out, but there's a bunch of those kind of things as well. It's real interesting. But let's see. Let me know if there's any questions in the chat. I'm gonna jump in the chat right here before the end of the show. There was some interesting discussion about prayer, and I've seen those comments about prayer, which I have to look up some of the things that you said. Let's see here. Sheldon, shout out to you guys. Well, you're not alone, Seekah. I'm not. Is there somebody behind me? My dog is right up under me. Yeah, a couple of red flags, but cool dude. Chris says he didn't see anything either. I mean, that's the weird thing, man. Like, you gotta have proof, right? First of all, you need to prove yourself, right? You need to ask yourself, why you believe it and what you're able to see. And, it's deep. I enjoyed the conversation. Some really, really cool stuff. You guys hang out with us. Today's Tuesday. We'll be going live again. Thursday I will be speaking to, let's see who I'm speaking to Thursday. Lori Spanga. I'll be speaking to her. And then Friday, the time has changed to 1 p.m. Central, but I will be being interviewed by the great Teresa Llaneros on her channel. So she's going to have me on her podcast or her show, Divine Frequency. So it's going to be good. Make sure you guys hang out in the chat there. I know we share a lot of cross-pollinate, a lot of subscribers and people who follow the work. So Chris says, I think at times trying to get proof is dangerous. Yeah, I don't know. And then Alex says, if faith was built on proof, then there would be any faith. Yeah, but I believe in proof though. I want to make sure, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that what I'm experiencing isn't just all in my head, right? I want to make sure that, I'm not crazy, right? We all want to be sure of that, whatever religious experience that you believe or what faith. I mean, there's a reason that you have faith in something, right? And getting into that reason of where, consciousness, what does it do for you as a person, or having faith helps me to escape my fear of death. Okay. That's very, very well true, belief in the unseen. I'm going to do I need to do a video on faith. I know I mentioned it probably a year ago, and I got a bunch of inbox questions for people wanting to see my teaching on faith, but I never put it out. So I need to go ahead and make that happen, because every time I say it, everybody hits me up in Messenger and chat wanting to hear the teaching on faith. But Astrid says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's good. So there is an evidence in the faith. Faith is just not what you believe. Faith without works is dead. So your faith, it produces something that is evident, right? It's evident what you believe. I talk about that a lot. When you believe in something, you're gonna fund it. You're gonna talk about it. You're gonna promote it, and don't matter what it is. So by your actions, you prove what you believe already. You prove where your faith is, right? By your actions. You don't have to tell anybody. We're able to see what you believe. It's called the fruit. So we're able to see what you believe. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. I really enjoyed it. Interesting conversation, interesting topics. Enjoyed reading the chat here the whole time and talking with this brother. And his music is good. Make sure you check it out. The Ascended Man. There's a song called Awaken. That was my favorite when I listened to it. There's some beautiful synth that comes in and just kind of takes you. Shout out to Christy Johnson here in the chat. I wanted to let you know his music has a touch of Morning Star vibe to it. Some of the old folky type, folky rock music. It's really good. So make sure y'all check it out. And if you're, I know it goes without saying, but if you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that like button. If you're not a patron yet, make sure you go check out patreon.com/TruthSeekah. A bunch of really cool stuff you get access to. And my new book, Spirit Realm, is available. So many things that I've kind of just mentioned here on the podcast. The book allowed me to go into a lot of detail and articulate it and edit it and put it out there. So make sure you go check out the book as well. All of that is at TruthSeekah.com. Everyone, I hope you have a great day. And I love each and every one of y'all. Thank you for showing up. Y'all are awesome. We'll do it again. Peace, peace.
Your will so much higher than mine, so much higher than mine. Your so much deeper than mine, so much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the TruthSeekah Podcast, head over to TruthSeekah.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/TruthSeekah.